Hello, 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 people of Earth. Welcome to Back to the Mat, Episode 7. My name is Archer, and this is a show where I, a former wrestling fan, jump back into the world of pro wrestling after many years away. Essentially, this is a show where I go back in, watch wrestling from a week to week basis, and I catch up, I react, and I rediscover everything that I used to love about pro wrestling. This is an experiment. Not really sure how long this is going to last. I might do this indefinitely, but, we'll see. So, if you've ever taken a break from wrestling or you just want to see someone experience it all over again, join me. And today, we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. And before we get into the show, I'm going to have to say that this particular week, or I should say this particular episode of Raw, I'm gonna have to break it down into two parts. Personally, it's been quite a long week for me. A lot of things have been going on, and so coming up with a time to, run through the whole show and break everything down, might be a little difficult. So what I'll do is I'm gonna break it into two parts. Part one is basically this, where I'm kind of shooting off the hip, similar to my SmackDown episodes, where it's kind of just a little bit of unfiltered. I don't go in depth with things too much. I kind of just give you the surface area level of details. And then what the plan is, because it's Thursday and tomorrow's SmackDown, on Saturday I'm going to do a part two to Raw where I kind of dig a little bit deeper, or maybe I had mentioned some stuff today that I kind of wanted to, or maybe I didn't mention some stuff today that I want to talk about on Saturday. So that's what I'm going to do. On Saturday, there's going to be a part two episode, really going through the show and going a little bit more in depth because I haven't gotten the time to rewatch the show. And so a lot of the things I'm going to be talking about today are kind of surface area things and kind of just me thinking out loud, essentially. Usually there's a structure to this. Usually I kind of have everything broken down already and kind of just, you know, go through it line by line, knowing what I'm going to talk about next and this and that. Here, I'm kind of just, like I said, shooting at the hip. So this is not a forever thing. This is just a this week thing. It's been quite busy, and I'm kind of just settling in. So not permanent, but for now. All right, let's get into your comments from last week coming up. And shout out to my man at JadenB26. So this is the part of the show where I essentially answer some of your questions, some of your thoughts, and basically dig into what you're thinking and what you want to talk about, and basically kind of react off of that, right? So as you can see, my man Jaden left quite a bit of reading material here, and I do appreciate it. I mean, it is great to see someone put their whole entire like thoughts and their what they're thinking onto a page for me to read and for me to kind of dissect, because he, from what I know, he's been watching this for years where I have given up in between and now I'm coming back, so you kind of get both sides of the coin um, in this part of in this part of the show, right? For a guy who's coming back, there's a lot of stuff I've missed. There's a lot of like, I mentioned this in the previous weeks. Finding out SmackDown was 3 hours is insane. And he mentions it, like here's like plain and simple, SmackDown is 3 hours long. And so, yeah, reading a lot of reading your comments gives me a different perspective, gives me a different side of like, oh, this is what the other side of the coin is thinking, the other side of the coin where someone's been watching this for so many years and already knows what's going on, but here's how they feel about it. So this is what this section is all about. Answering your comments, what's on your mind, and just speaking upon it. And hey, he starts off with SmackDown is long, plain and simple. Uh, kind of gets into the Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton match at WrestleMania. Yeah, it's all done for ticketing purposes. I'm hoping there's a heel turn at the end. I'm hoping it's Cody. I've seen Randy heel. I'm cool with it. Him being a good guy for the rest of his career. I'm fine. I don't need him to go back to 2009 Randy. That was a good time. That was a fun time. Uh, but we need to move on, right? Like I think Cody having a shift. He's like the babyface, but he needs it more than ever. I was looking online and someone was saying like, oh my God, it went from "We want Cody" tweets like hashtag "We want Cody" to "Get rid of Cody" or something like that, or "We don't want Cody." And so having that heel turn might do them justice. You need to end WrestleMania on a high note, and this could be it. This could be the thing that happens. I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's a very common thing people are saying, but I just hope we kind of get what we want, right? Like if you're writing the script, sometimes he like look, Jaden says it here. Predictable doesn't always mean bad, right? If Cody turning heel is predictable, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just something different, something new, and honestly, it might bring some life back into the American Nightmare character. At least for me, I don't know. This is episode 7, so look, who am I, right? But it seems like the consensus online is we do something, we're, or they're just gonna kind of give up on him or whatever. Because it doesn't look like it's treading in a great direction. They're cheering him, but there's also like this, like they're waiting, right? They're waiting. Um, which then leaves Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, and yeah, they should have a great match. They should have an amazing match. I feel that Drew being pushed down on the card, right? I mean, if he kept his title, it's main event. But now this, you know, he's gonna be facing Jacob, and so he's really him and Jacob are gonna have to really find a way to push the envelope on this and really um, bring out the best in each other at WrestleMania to show that look, man, like at some point one of us are gonna go right are gonna either go back into the title picture or going to become champion in Jacob Fatu, and so I think this may be good. I would have preferred a fatal four way, but then it kind of like clouds the heel turn of Cody. But I think this is just as good, right? Give each of them their own kind of moment. Whoever comes out on top between Jacob and Drew, fine with it. Um, but it should be fun. It should be great. Yeah, I made a mistake on the last week of SmackDown. So Drew set up the table, and Jaden pointed out here. He set up the table and he put Cody through a table, and I was thinking to myself, shouldn't that be a DQ? It's funny, like small things like that will slip my mind because I wish I had like an exact number of how many years I've been watching wrestling, and it's been a lot. And a lot of times you sort of just forget these things because I remember there was like matches I used to watch back then, and I'm like, if the champion is trying, if there's a heel champion and he's trying to keep his title, why does he not just take the 10 count? Like there were moments like when I was watching in the past like that, and it just never kind of made any sense. And so when I see someone set up a table, put someone through a table, and not get DQ'd, it kind of like confuses my brain a little bit. And then I don't know. I'm trying to think of this one match with AJ Styles when he came back. Not when he came back, when he when he showed up to WWE. I remember someone. I actually I think the whole community was like, why is he breaking up the 10 count? Like it was something like that, and I wish I could remember, but there were so many instances similar to that, and so it kind of screwed up my head when I was watching last week. But apparently, you have to be hit by the by the weapon, not like putting someone through it does not apparently. make it illegal. Okay, I I'm like fine with it. I'm not gonna like argue the the whole thing, but what also didn't make sense is if Drew headbutted the referee, why didn't the referee just call it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are the things that circle through my head. But I guess it's legal. I don't. I'll take it. Fine. But I I just okay. Guess you have to be hit by it. I'm cool with it. I don't really. It's not like a thing I want to argue or anything. But it's more of like there's no real official rule book, is there? It's just they're kind of just doing whatever sometimes, and just kind of like I said, it messes my brain up a little bit. And then the Danhauser. We're not going to be talking about Danhauser today, which is unfortunate. But I will talk about it in part two. I can't wait. I'm I can't wait because I know on SmackDown something's going to happen, and I should talk about it tonight. But oh, the time. But I'm excited too. I am so excited. Him and The Miz, wonderful things can happen if done right. Let's see. Obafemi squashing people. Yeah, that Johnny Gargano one was weird. I don't. I'm gonna have to see how this whole thing plays out. To be honest, I I don't even know enough to continue to speak on it, so I'm gonna just stop myself right there. The Jade Cargill thing with Rhea Ripley. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I mentioned it last week. I don't care at all. I They're gonna have a match at WrestleMania. Rhea's probably gonna win, and then we just move on. But they got to do something between now and then because this whole you got a nice body thing is not working out for me. I'm like, dude, you gotta give me something. This is why you're fighting right now. I don't know. I am disinterested is the word. And someone could say, oh, you're actually they're actually fighting about it, and I'm like, I'm disinterested. Trick Williams and Sami Zayn versus Sami Zayn. Jaden is pitching. I that never came to my mind, but I want to see it now. That could be a really fun match. I don't know how they're gonna weave it in there. I don't know if there's like an underlying storyline, but I want to see it now because the the fans love Trick Williams. I don't know how the fans feel about Sammy, to be honest. I have no clue. I think he's just kind of whining a little too much these days. I like Trick Williams, but he's a heel, and fans are loving it. And Jaden mentions here, oh, there could be a double turn. I don't. You know what's weird? I don't know if I want a double turn. I think I want him to be heel and try to work it out. But if the fans are just gonna keep cheering him on, I don't like how is that gonna work and how is that gonna evolve into him getting. I mean, he's already over, but he's over in a way that's a little different, right? We'll see. We'll see. I do hope you know things turn out okay for him, for them, for each other. Uh, Damian Priest and R-Truth. Yeah, this was the first interaction between them, right? And then in terms of like, hey, we're a tag team now. Okay, yeah. I think they should. They have settled into R-Truth just being comedy relief guy at this point. I thought after he shaved his head, he was gonna have a bigger role, and he was gonna be Ron Killings, the character. Um, I remember I saw an old promo of his from TNA, and Jaden also mentions it here. That he was a huge fan. That I have said I'm a huge TNA guy before the Ron Killings character. Is different from his TNA character versus his actual like persona outside the cage, outside the ring. And so, yeah, I thought they were gonna bring that back. Like I thought they were gonna like go into that heel Ron Killings character, but now they've just settled for. comedy relief, and I guess that's what we're getting because there's no shift at all. There's no hinting at it. There's nothing. He just shaved his head, and we're just gonna move on from you know whatever we were, whatever we thought we were going to expect. So that was a lot for answering your. I think may have been the most amount of time I've spent, but I do enjoy doing them. I do enjoy reading them. I enjoy talking about them because I can sit here and I can talk about the show, yada yada yada, but I'll never really know what all of you are thinking. I'll never really know uh, how you feel about the show. You know, and when you guys write stuff like this, it kind of lets me know. It kind of lets me know, well, not just how I'm doing, but also how do you feel about the show. It gives me another perspective on it, right? It gives me another look into what the audience is thinking. And the fact that he's been watching for so long is kind of great, right? Because now you have both sides. You have the guy who's coming back, you know, watching everything new as it's happening. WWE Unreal is like a new wrinkle into this whole uh, experience. And then, I get to read what y'all are thinking. So it should be fun. Anyway, we have to start the show, like really start the show, because we're what, like 13 or so minutes in or something. We haven't even talked about this ridiculous Seth Rollins opening segment. Let's just get there, shall we? I can't believe they're still going with this. You know, by the way, if this is your first time watching the video, there's usually text on the screen. But because I'm splitting this into two, I'm just gonna add a, I'm just gonna add the image and just speak on it. And last week I said, oh, thank God I said it because I didn't think they were gonna actually bring it up again. Last week I said, does WWE have like a ski mask, a black ski mask, and a black hoodie quota to meet or something? Like what is going on here? Because what is with all these masked men? And I'm watching Monday Night Raw. Adam Pearce calls out Seth Rollins, and there is just what is it, 20 like masked men just appear out of nowhere. This was the most ridiculous, most laughable, and I will get super deep into it in part two because I, I'm still just trying to like figure all this stuff out. Like what was the reason for them doing that swirling crap? I don't understand. Like, why didn't Seth Rollins, when Adam Pearce, Seth Rollins, please come out, we know you're here, blah, blah. Why didn't he just appear like he did, like from the crowd? Why, what was the purpose behind these masked men? And don't tell me, oh, it's because when the Vision came out, they were gonna attack him. Like, yeah, they didn't know where he was gonna be, so technically they could have, they were gonna be backstage either way. If Seth was in the crowd, he could have just been like, "Hey, I'm up here. What do you want to say to me?" And he could have just done it there. Instead, you had this ridiculous, like, like, like just circle, like motion thing going on, and I'm like, why is there like this tsunami of people, masked men? And what is the reason? And who are they? And how did Seth? And we're probably gonna get the answers to this, hopefully, but it was just so bizarre to watch because and usually when this sort of thing happens, when you kind of macerate a bigger motion to hide a smaller motion of someone vanishing or appearing, it's usually done when someone vanishes, not when someone appears. If you want someone to appear, just put the spotlight on them. That's what they do, right? They put the spotlight. Oh, hey, there he is. In a sea full of people, there he is. He's in the crowd. Or hey, he's over there via satellite. I don't, you don't need this masked men thing. Like I don't understand the purpose behind showing them, and it was so it was so bizarre to watch. And the thing is, I don't think Seth didn't say anything. They appeared, he appeared, Vision appeared, came in, and then LA Knight comes out of nowhere, and then the Usos come out. And I'm like, what is happening? And what's up with Paul Heyman? And I'm jumping around here, but I'm trying to make sense of the why behind they did this, and it's just goofy. It's so stupid. Like if you're Seth Rollins right now, you're like, why would I'm surprised he even agreed to this. Like, not that he has like a huge matter in the choice, but just looking at the the whole thing from afar, you had to like multiple people had to know this is so dumb. He's gonna what? He's gonna appear behind 20, like one of these 20 guys, and it's him, and they're just gonna like flood the ring and just circle and kind of this like weird whirlpool thing going on, and then it's him, and then the Vision comes, and then they do it again, and he disappears. And why? That's the real reason. And I loved Adam Pearce. He's like he says it in the thing. He's like you and I we've known each other a long time. You didn't need to do this. He literally looks at him and like almost like laughing like you didn't need to do this. Like as like how goofier can you possibly get? But oh, and by the way, I'm pretty upset that Paul Heyman is in the like we got a medical update from Paul Heyman. I was hoping for like them to hold Paul Heyman like hostage or something. When Elliot Knight drove off in the ambulance, I was sincerely hoping we're gonna get like these segments of like LA Knight like doing something new, refreshing. I know Paul Heyman's got the thing with Brock Lesnar, but I was like, man, if they somehow weave LA Knight into this thing, and he's like interrogating Paul Heyman about like, hey, who attacked Jey Uso, just helping them out, or like whatever small little piece, and it leads to like an LA Knight Brock Lesnar thing down the line, that would have been freaking amazing. Just like I'm starting to realize I think I like the segments and the backstage stuff rather than the in promo work and the wrestling. I mean, look, I know wrestling, but I feel like it would have been a lot more fun and easily to digest the show if they had done something with LA Knight and Paul Heyman based on what we saw happen, based on what had happened last week. Right? He drove off with Paul Heyman. Maybe he takes him to a warehouse or something. Maybe he interrogates him. Maybe Paul Heyman tricks him along the way, and he kind of like he twists his words, and he kind of like tricks LA Knight into letting him go, and then Brock Lesnar just beats the crap out of him. Something of substance rather than medical update. He's got a hernia or whatever the thing is. It's not a hernia, but they kind of just it just happened and now it's gone, and I'm like, all right, why does LA Knight care about all of this? Why is he helping? Why does he? What's the reason behind all this? Like, I get it. He's a good guy, but I'm like, he could easily just stay out of this. He could easily just go, not my problem. Like, I get the Usos being mad. They want to know who attacked Jay. Right? I want to know. I genuinely do. As much as I don't care about like this, I just want things to move forward. I'm genuinely like, don't like close the gap. But yeah, we got this weird thing going on tonight. More to come on Saturday. Like, actually rewatch this whole segment and find things I probably didn't see the first time. So with that being said, let's get on to the judgments, the judgments, Jesus, the Judgment Day turning on Finn Balor. Let's go. Well, for some of you, it finally happened. For me, it just happened. The Judgment Day has turned on Finn Balor. So, safe to say, Finn versus Dom at WrestleMania is happening. Yeah, I'm glad. I I haven't been here for the full Judgment Day. Um, how do I say this? Experience, right? Like Finn was talking about, for 2 years. Uh, he's just been watching Dom, hoping that he would kind of change this and that, and then he just realizes there's just no hope for this guy. It's just a dead end. He was just never figured out, and he kind of lays it out, right? He kind of lays it out for Dominic Mysterio. It was inevitable. It was obvious. It was gonna happen tonight. I like the fact that he did the Pele thing. It reminded me of him turning on Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa at at NXT. In NXT, come to find out, that was the last time he did it as well. I did see that online, and I was like, wait, he hasn't like done that move or done that like thing with the you know pretends he's taking off his jacket, Pele. He hasn't done that since then, apparently, which is I mean, how many times do you really get to do that? But then again, it doesn't have to be for like a turn like that because we were all expecting it, not the Pele, but the fact that this was the end of the road, so to speak. I liked it. I think with everything that happened in this show, I just remember this being the best part because something is moving forward and with reason, right? Like Finn has a reason to just be irritated by this guy. That this guy just cannot, like, you really just couldn't retain your title by yourself. You really needed our help to do this, right? And so when I rewatch it, I will dissect it a lot deeper, but this was much. I don't really know what that says about the whole show as an entirety. The fact that what we knew, what we thought, and what we knew was going to happen tonight, or I say tonight, but on Monday, was the best part of the show, at least for me. I don't know what that says about the product. Does anyone else feel that way? Like we all saw this coming, but does anyone else feel like this was it? Like, whoa, like out of all the stuff that happened in the show, the women's number one contender fight, the CM Punk versus the J versus the Usos segment at the end, the weird Shield, not Shield, the weird Seth Rollins masked man thing, Oba Femi versus yeah, yeah, versus Rusev. Was that like this felt like the best part of the show, but I feel like it shouldn't be. Something like this should not be the best part of the show. Anyway, I'm thinking out loud. And so I did enjoy this. I can't wait to rewatch this and fully break it down. But these are like my initial thoughts into it because I, I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's see what type of. By the way, this guy better have the goddamn Demon King come out. I, dude, I don't know what else Finn Balor really has. Let's be honest with you. I feel like that him not wanting to do the makeup for the Demon King. I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter. It's your thing. He mentioned it. Finn Balor means Demon King, right? That's your thing, buddy. I don't care if it takes you 3 hours or 5 hours. You're putting on the damn makeup or the body paint because that's your thing. And for what has it been, like 7 or 10 years or something like that. He hasn't had another thing yet. He doesn't have another thing, another gimmick, another secondary. It's he came out, his entrance was Balor Club. Who is in this Balor Club? It's the Judgment Day. And he's got Balor Club merch, and I'm like, I don't know who is in this. All his friends are gone. Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, uh, AJ, they're gone. Who's in this Balor Club? I have no clue. I've recently found out that MJF is facing Hangman Page, and Hangman Page, if he loses, he can never fight for the title. And apparently, if Hangman loses, he's coming into WWE. Is he in Balor Club? I don't know. Look, because they're both were in Bullet Club, not together at the same time. But there's that connection. Can they like? I don't know. Perhaps maybe it's a reach. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe Hangman's whole thing is I don't know. Maybe he wins the title. I don't know. That's a whole other show. But it was like brought up to me this week, and I'm like, I, I, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But yeah, this is me reflecting on the segment. Yeah, I don't think I really have much to say. I didn't notice it at the time, but someone online did point out that when the sell from Johnny Gargano was infinitely better than Dom's sell from the taking off the fake jacket to the Pele because Dom put his hands up. It's not a big deal or anything. It's not like oh wow, that kind of ruined the whole thing. But I will say, after that was pointed out to me, I'll be honest, I kind of was like, wow, it did make a difference. I'll be honest, I rewatched it a few times, that moment only, and I'm like, damn, Johnny really ate it. I hope he's doing okay, honestly. After he got squashed by Oba, I really hope that he finds himself or whatever and gets out of this depression rut because I want to see good things happen to him. But you know who I don't want to see good things happen to? Because week by week, it seems that this man just cannot make the right decision anymore. It's CM Punk. So let's talk about it. The CM Punk and Jey Uso. I I can't believe he didn't say sorry. Just like this is a segment that I want to give a lot of time to. Um, Unfortunately, it's not tonight. Tonight's just gonna be like I can already tell this is gonna be the worst episode I do. This is it. This I can feel it. I can feel it. But it's so weird watching this because I'm like, the fans are literally telling him, like they're chanting out, "Just say sorry" or "Say you're sorry" or something like that. And I'm like, this dude is really not gonna back down from telling another guy that, "Hey, I'm gonna bury you next to your dead father." And he's not. He's not even being like, "Yeah, maybe I was wrong." Yeah, no, he is planting his feet into this and going, no, absolutely not. Why? Where am I wrong and you are right? And I have been a CM Punk fan for many years, and I've supported him. I love the whole straight edge thing. This is getting a little ridiculous at this point. I am now thinking to myself, this is a man who doesn't really understand like the repercussions of some of the things he's saying. And I get it. It's like, well, okay, it's scripted and this and that, but you know, that's a pretty bold line. And I'm like, he's not even. he's not even trying to go, I fucked up, didn't I? He's just continuously going, maybe it's you who's being like, like he's just pointing the finger right back, and I'm like, dude, just stop. Like, I was hoping we would see Roman tonight. I say tonight. I was hoping we would see Roman in this episode, but I think it's good that they gave us this one to see how the rest of the family, well, I say rest, but to see how the Usos feel about it, right? Because he mentioned the backstage stuff, and I don't know how deep into the vines they've gotten into that whole story. Like, how rooted is Punk and the Usos backstage when Roman mentioned it last week? I don't know, but I'm interested to find out what he has to say after tonight, or like what Roman has to say after what happened tonight, right? Um, yeah, I can't wait to just get a little deeper into this in part two. But I'll be honest, I'll say one thing. I think Jimmy should have been the champ and not Jay. Is that mean? Is that like too bad? Because after watching this segment, I realized like, man, Jimmy is the like he's got the goods, man. I could really feel his energy, his pain come from within. I can really feel him like being impacted by the words that CM Punk had said and be like, hey man, like look, you said it to him, but this is family. Like you affected not just one person, you affected all. Like we know him, we grew up with him, and for you to say something like that, that's kind of messed up. So, I'm gonna need you to say you're sorry. And the whole time, Jay is in the background or Jay is in the ring. He's kind of like that like brother that now he's kind of like that brother that just has all this energy and this anger, just kind of doesn't really know what to do with it yet. Like just kind of just like just say you're sorry, just say you're sorry. Like he just kept saying it without anything behind it. Like no, like dude, just say sorry because you know what you said is wrong. He never said any of that. That was like Jimmy doing all that like reasoning. That was my take on the Usos kind of that scenario. I feel like Jimmy was like the voice of reason, like kind of like, hey man, do you understand what you're saying, what you're doing right now? And Jay, yeah, and Jay is just like hothead kind of for good reason. But I think they should have at least given Jimmy a run or something. I don't know what his situation is or whether he was injured or something. I Yeah, but yeah, and that's it. That's the show. I can't wait to see what Roman comes back with. It's definitely Larry because he had it out, right? This was the out. This was it. Just say you're sorry. He didn't take it, and now Punk is gonna suffer. Oh, and I like how Jimmy was like he called him Phil too. I'm like, oh, it's cutting here. It's cutting a little deep here, isn't it? It's like it's getting more than personal at this point. So I thought it was a fun show. Actually, no. Did I think it was a fun show? No. It was this show dragged, man. I think it had two great moments. The way it ended, pretty good. CM Punk got dropped. Waiting on the next episode. Mm. Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's not much else to say. I'm gonna have to rewatch this whole thing again, and then I'll give you my part two. And I'm a little excited. I'm excited to talk about the Finn Balor segment. I'm excited to talk about. We're gonna get to the Dan Houser stuff. Um, oh my goodness, I like how they hinted. You know, the lights came on when he was running back. It feels like it was done on purpose because of who the character is and everything. And I'm pretty sure that's the direction they're going. But it's like those small little things like that just make it so much better. I'm like, sometimes it's the little things. You don't need a high, awesome production. You don't need perfection every time. You don't need it. You don't need to believe that this guy is. I don't even know if he's a vampire or Dracula or what. Yeah, vampire. But I can't wait. I cannot wait to talk about this, especially after what happens on SmackDown. Whatever, knowing how the episode ended, now heading into tomorrow for SmackDown, and then doing part two. I can't wait. I can't wait because I feel like a lot of some other pieces of information are gonna get filled up. So this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be great. But yeah, this is gonna be the only week I do this because I think it's a little unfair that I have to break down the shortest episode out of the two into two parts because my week is just a little too hectic. So I'm going to uh, this is gonna be a one-off. Never again, hopefully. And with that being said, let's move on to next week, shall we? Or next week, next episode, shall we? And at the end of the night, here we are. Up next tomorrow. Stay tuned. It's 3 beautiful hours of Friday Night SmackDown. Oh my goodness. I don't really know what to expect. I hope it's a good show. I always want it to be a good show because if it's a good show, then I think everyone enjoys. And it's easier to talk about. Instead, for the last 2 weeks, I've been pulling teeth on SmackDown. Nothing has gotten me excited about SmackDown. And I honestly, I don't even know what's in the works this weekend, for tomorrow's episode. Because I'm so like, I don't, I'm following all of them on social. I haven't heard a thing. Drew's probably gonna make a big fuss about it. Jacob Fatu versus Drew thing is gonna start escalating. The storyline will progress. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. But other than that, I don't I don't really know what to expect. I don't know like what else is really going on. I know all the micro like small stories are there, but I'm curious to see how the show's gonna end. The show could start and it could suck, but if they end on a high note, that's delicious, right? That's what I want because I feel like every time they've ended, not so great. Or like great, not so great, but predictable. Like, all right, fine. I'll take it. Cody champ again? All right, what is this? 3 times? Okay, fine. Randy Cody at WrestleMania? Okay, I'll take it. All right, cool. So, with that being said, this has been episode 7 of Back to the Mat. So, please drop your theories, your comments, your concerns. Tell me how I did on part 1. Like I said, this is not going to be a recurring thing. This is just this week sort of thing. Um, yeah, that's that's about it. Oh yeah, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share this episode with someone who also likes wrestling because I think that's what the algorithm loves. I think the algorithm likes a lot of things, but they love it the most when you share this video and like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm excited to see how this experiment goes. I say this, I don't know if I've been saying it every week, but I want to see this succeed because in life you do give up on in life you try and test out different things that you like and you love and you hate. Sometimes Sometimes you commit to things longer than you should have, and sometimes you give up on certain things sooner than you should have. But for the sake of this, for me coming back, I do want it to succeed because that means everyone's enjoying. I'm enjoying because I'm still sticking around. I'm still staying. I'm still watching. I'm still being entertained on a week to week basis. You know, it's television, but I mean, it's great television. There's so many stories within an hour and 30 minutes you can tell. There's so many build-ups, so many characters, so many personalities, and so their success is something I root for because it fulfills an enjoyment, a need. It also, I'm giving them my time. If I give people my time, if you give anyone your time, you expect, if you give anyone your time, you expect almost the best. So I know today's time that I've given you, if you've watched this whole thing from beginning to end, hasn't been so enjoyable because of the fact that I rambled on about about 3 segments here, but I do hope you enjoyed. Timestamp. Well, Jesus Christ, if you're at the end, I already probably put timestamps in, but yes, I hope you enjoyed this shoot from the hip episode of Monday Night Raw. Please share, like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when the next episode is coming. Peace.